That's all for this edition of Dateline. Check out our Talking Dateline podcast. Andrea Canning and Josh Mankiewicz will go behind the scenes of tonight's episode. Available Wednesday in the Dateline feed wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you again next Friday at 9, 8 Central. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, good night.
Live from Rhinelander, this is News Watch 12 at 10. The Northwoods' best news with Jessica Jukic, meteorologist Chase Ropanak, and Saul Meyer with sports. News from where you live starts now.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Jukic. Wausau Mayor Doug Dinny removed Wausau's ballot drop box in front of City Hall Sunday, claiming that he found the drop box to not be secure. The city clerk reported Dinny's conduct, and he's now under investigation. Dinny released a statement today about it. It reads in part, quote, "The city clerk is out of her lane. I don't work for her. The Wausau city attorney is in the middle of a performance review for not doing her job," which was initiated after claims made by departing assistant city attorney came public in July. "I had to bring in an independent law firm to handle that," end quote. Wisconsin Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski responded to Dinny's statement.
City clerk is not out of their lane. They are doing what they're supposed to do, which is run elections. And look, we know drop boxes help ensure full participation.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission in guidance sent in July to all 1,800 plus clerks who administer elections in Wisconsin and said it was up to municipal clerks to determine the location of drop boxes. Dinny has offered no evidence that drop boxes lead to election fraud. The Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled today that Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name will remain on the state presidential ballot in Wisconsin. The liberal-controlled court upheld a lower court's ruling that candidates can only be removed from the ballot if they die. Kennedy suspended his campaign in August and endorsed former President Donald Trump. The presence of the independent and third-party candidates on the ballot could be a factor in Wisconsin, where 4 of the past 6 presidential elections have been decided by a few thousand votes. Jace, it's a busy weekend ahead. How's it looking?
It's looking great if you like warm weather. We got 80s for tomorrow, and we had 80 degrees for today, and I know this is my first year living here, but I'm pretty sure that's not normal for this time of year, right?
Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, that's right. But let's take a look now. We have cooled down. We're in the mid-50s right now. Looks like 56 degrees here in Rhinelander, 55 in both Minocqua and Eagle River as well. Some areas still right around 60 degrees. We see that in Wausau. Mosney at 63 right now, but a little bit farther down south. Rome has cooled off a little bit right around 56 degrees. Now, we do have some pretty high dew points still with this warm weather. Looks like 52 here in Rhinelander, 56 still in Eagle River, and Shawano right around 60 still, so pretty sticky over in Shawano. And we're going to see this going into tomorrow and Sunday and Monday as well with that warm weather. All right, taking a look into tomorrow, though, it is going to be another hot one. We're going to see a high right around 81 degrees, and we're going to have lots of sun for tomorrow. So another beautiful day ahead with all the activities going on. I'm sure everybody is going to love this weather that we got for the Northwoods, and the same for the Southern Viewing area. They're going to have highs right around 81 degrees as well with lots of sunshine. All right, let's take a look ahead into tonight, though. Still going to be pretty above average for temperatures. We have a forecast low right around 49 degrees. Jessica?
A court hearing was held Friday for the caretaker charged with neglect after the disappearance of 3-year-old Elijah Vu. The child's remains were found 2 weeks ago in Wisconsin. Jesse Vang and the boy's mother both face child neglect charges, but no one has been charged in connection to the toddler's death. Vang appeared virtually in court today for a status conference. His next status conference is scheduled for November 6th, and no trial date has been set yet. The former chancellor of UW-La Crosse was fired from his professor position after a unanimous vote by the Board of Regents today. Dr. Joe Gao was removed as chancellor of the school last December after pornographic videos surfaced of Gao and his wife. Regents met for around half an hour in a closed session today before announcing their decision to dismiss Gao with cause. He plans to file a lawsuit citing concerns over his freedom of speech having been violated. The never-forgotten honor flight flew from Mosinee to Washington, D.C. and back on Monday. 94 Korean and Vietnam veterans from 13 different Wisconsin counties visited multiple different memorials. Dick Bartosh is a Vietnam-era war veteran that served in the U.S. Marine Corps. He enlisted in 1967 and says that experience was extremely challenging and is not sorry about his time in the service.
I know that I am capable of doing a lot more than I thought I might be able to do. I don't like to hear when I hear people say I can't do something because they maybe didn't even try. And I found out that in the recruit training and the confidence course and all that, you're probably capable of doing a lot more than what you think you are.
Dennis Schmidt is a Vietnam-era veteran that served in the Army as a medic and had the opportunity to visit the memorials with his son Jason, who lives in D.C.
I had been here before once because he lived out here, and that was right after 9/11. Yeah. And we got to see the Pentagon and such, and came here. But it's nice to come back, and it really is an honor. They just take care of you.
His son Jason also served in the Air Force and was inspired to do so by his father's time in the service. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and the Tri-County Council will be honoring victims by raising awareness. Tomorrow morning, the council will be hosting its second annual Painting Silence Purple event at the Hodak soccer fields. But this isn't the only way they're raising awareness. In October, they'll be displaying exhibits throughout Oneida, Vilas, and Forest counties. The Tri-County Council Program Coordinator, Katie, is looking forward to the turnout and what this means for community members. She hopes that coordinating these events can help spark conversation and encourage survivors to begin the healing process.
I got in this position to help people and to really support those that are actively going through this, and to work on that healing aspect too, because we know it's so hard to heal from, past relationships or traumas from relationships.
There will be other events hosted throughout the Tri-County area, such as a burn ceremony that helps participants let go of past traumas. They'll also have a silhouette project based off a 2023 homicide report. Each silhouette in this display represents victims of domestic violence. The Tri-County Council has many resources available to those who need it, such as counseling, emergency assistance, and housing.
So we want to really raise that awareness to let people know that you're not alone and that it's okay to talk about it. There's so much support that's available for when you're ready to reach out.
The Painting Silence Purple Color Run will be taking place at the Hodak soccer fields at 9 a.m. tomorrow. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, reach out to the Tri-County Council and they'll assist in any way that they can. A Wausau man is promoting musical artists. Coming up, we'll see how he's bringing people into the behind-the-scenes world of hip-hop after Weather with Chase right here on Newswatch 12.
Winter's coming. Fight back against rust and protect your investment with Rust Solutions underbody rust proofing for vehicles and trailers. Call to make your appointment today.
A hard day's work makes for a good night's rest. A good night's rest calls for a good cup of coffee. Some good coffee prepares it for the work day ahead. That work day promises dirt, stains, and a good sweat. A good sweat shows you had a hard day's work. And when that day is done, you do it all again tomorrow. And you live for tomorrow. Because tomorrow you can do it better and build it bigger.
My husband and I are going through IVF treatments now. It could be our only chance to have a family. But Donald Trump's plan could ban IVF in some states. My husband is in the military. He volunteered to serve. We are patriots and we go where he is assigned. What if we end up in a state where IVF is no longer legal? What will we do then?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Be the scariest house in the block this Halloween at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender.
inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Huge live auction, Bessemer, Michigan, September 29th, 10:30 a.m. Tractor, machinery, sawmills, zero-turn mower, sporting goods, tools, antiques, and more. Colonel Renee Brass and St. Louis Auctions.
Welcome back, everybody. It was a warm one out there today, and we're going to continue to see some warm weather going into the weekend. But for now, we are cooling off. We're seeing mid-50s right now. We do have clear skies and calm winds tonight, so we should touch the upper 40s. Dew points, though, still a little sticky in the low 50s. And we see that pressure is above that 30-inch mark, and it is stable as we're right in the middle of the ridge for now. Highs today got up to 81 degrees here in Rhinelander. That's what we're expecting to see tomorrow. So what we see on the screen right now is what we could see for tomorrow as well, showing Eagle River, Minocqua, both at 80 degrees. Some areas in the upper 70s, Phillips, Ladysmith, Medford, all right around 79 to 78 degrees. Down south, lots of 80s down there as well. Wausau got up to 81, and Stevens Point, Shawano, and Wapaka all around 82 degrees for their high today. Going into tonight, looks like here in the Northwoods is where we're going to have those clear skies and calm winds. Some areas could touch the upper 40s for tonight, showing that in Arborvita, Eagle River. Rhinelander showing 50 degrees, but we should cool off to right around 49. Not a big difference, showing that in Tomahawk as well. Down south is where it's going to be a little bit warmer, maybe with some cloud cover as well from that tropical storm, Helene, and we see that we're right around the mid-50s, Wausau 55, Mosinee 54, and other areas right around the same. All right, as we continue on into tomorrow, going to be another warm day, as we just said. Areas right around in the Northwoods, back around 80 degrees, showing upper 70s here, but with lots of sun. We're going to get right up to 80, 81, maybe even 82 degrees. And then we'll see the same temperatures going all the way down to our southern viewing area. They will be right around 80 degrees as well. Taking a look at that temperature trend, though, we are going to cool off soon. We're going to have a cold front move through Monday nights, and that's going to cool us off into Tuesday in those upper 50s to low 60s, followed by mid 60s on Wednesday, then right around 70 on Thursday. Looks like maybe another front will come in, cool us off again for Friday next week, back into those mid 60s, feeling much more like fall weather. All right, so yesterday we were talking about Hurricane Helene. It was a Category 4 hurricane, very, very strong. It did lots of damage in the Panhandle and the Big Bend of Florida, but now we're talking about that Fujiwara effect, where another low pressure system was going to pull it and then engulf it, and that's exactly what happened. We're seeing now just a massive, large, low pressure system bringing lots of rain right now in the southern Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, even parts of Mississippi and Alabama, but they are also getting a big wind threat as well. There's max gust around 50 to 60 miles an hour in parts of southern Illinois, as that thing is still rotating pretty strong, and that's going to continue on into tomorrow. So are we going to get any weather from Tropical Storm Helene? Doesn't look like it. We'll just see some cloud cover just very down far south near Madison, Milwaukee. Other than that, we are going to stay clear. Looks like for the next few days, our only next weather system will be Monday night, where we're going to cool off into Tuesday. All right, for tonight, though, clear skies, areas of dense fog, so be careful if you're driving out tonight, and we'll have lows right around 49 degrees. For tomorrow, another hot one out there, sunny and warm, highs right around 81, and a nice breeze from the north-northeast, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Take a look at your 7-day forecast, brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress. We do have some warm temperatures going to this weekend, but cooling off on Tuesday with highs in the upper 50s, low 60s, and then temperatures bouncing around a bit in the mid-60s, low 70s. Jessica?
Thanks, Chase. It can be hard for musicians to get their work noticed, but one Wausau area resident created a way to help promote local artists. During COVID, many people had more free time, and Jacob Heimerl said that he had this idea to promote his friends and his own music came to life. They decided to make their own radio station.
The original idea has really evolved since then, so now we do playlisting, interviews, had a couple of concerts that we've thrown, so it's kind of evolved since the original idea, and the team has even evolved since then. So just the kind of overall idea of CW Hip Hop was to help support local Wisconsin hip hop artists in the Wisconsin area here.
CW Hip Hop has interviewed around 50 local artists since they started, learning different things about the artist, such as where their inspiration comes from and learning more about their personal life. CW Hip Hop is hosting shows every Sunday at 5 p.m. on Instagram. Friday Night Football's wrapping up in the Northwoods. We'll have a recap of the Bell game and tonight's Friday Night Blitz. And this weekend, there'll be something new in the sky. We'll have a look at a new piece in orbit.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year. So visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
It can be back-breaking work all day, every day, pretty much on your feet. So it burns me up when Eric Hovde says people in Wisconsin don't work hard. The guy is a multi-millionaire California banker. He has absolutely no idea what we're going through. He's living the high life out there in a big fancy house. He even brags about being in the 1%. Listen, don't come here and tell us we're not working hard when we are just getting by. Eric Hovde doesn't respect us at all. The guy's a straight-up jerk. DSTC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Choose your local roofing company that understands the value of giving you options that best fit your needs. Overhead Solutions, where local expertise meets quality craftsmanship. We're ready to earn your business. Call us today.
ELM Repair in Edgar is a family-owned and operated full-service diesel repair shop. From pickups to semi-trucks to heavy equipment and RV service. If it runs on diesel, we can repair it. Want more power and better mileage? Our experienced professionals will get your truck running and at peak performance. With a state-of-the-art dyno and fully stocked parts department, we can even come out to you with our 24-hour mobile repair service. ELM is always looking for passionate and talented people to join our team. The Diesel Doctor, have it done right the first time at ELM Repair.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
Builder Service. We are your hometown hardware store. Plumbing, electrical, paint, automotive, keys, tools, lawn and garden. We're more than just a lumberyard. Highway 45 in Elko.
Your voice, your vote. October 11th on Newswatch 12.
Coming up on Newswatch 12 today, join Kate Heidemann for another edition of Race Watch 12.
And a beautiful warm weekend, and same story to beginning of next week. Enjoy this outdoor weather, because cooler weather is around the corner.
The moon will soon be getting a temporary friend. According to a new study, a tiny asteroid will begin to orbit Earth starting Sunday and will essentially act as a mini moon. Researchers discovered the celestial object last month during routine monitoring. However, it will only be around until November 25th before it returns to an asteroid belt revolving around the sun. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see it with your naked eye, though.
Newswatch 12's Big Old Fish, brought to you by Kurt's Island Sport Shop in Minocqua. Doreen's husband died suddenly. She was with the Undertaker, who was an old fishing buddy of her husband, and was asked how she wanted the obituary to read. She asked, how much does the obituary cost? He said, $1 per word. She said, I want to read, Matt is dead. The Undertaker was a little disturbed by such a curt obituary, so he offered her a deal. I knew Matt so well, I'll pay half for the obituary out of my own pocket. Doreen's face lit up, and she replied, great, I want to read, Matt is dead, vote for sale. This week's first entry comes to us from Lori, who caught this largemouth bass on a red salamander on Fawn Lake near Harshaw. Great job on that big old fish, Lori. Our second entry is this big old 36-inch northern pike that Ryan caught on Lake Thompson in Rhinelander off his kayak using a dinner bell. Awesome catch, Ryan. Last of the day comes from Dee Dee, who caught this 51-inch muskie while fishing for crappies on a 1/16th crappie jig on the Three Lakes chain. Way to go on getting that big old fish, Dee Dee. All right, anglers, for your chance to win a fish mount from Norland Taxidermy Studio in Rhinelander, enter the Big Old Fish Contest at WJFW.com or send us your photo and description of your catch. Brought to you by Kurt's Island Sport Shop in Minocqua. Happy casting, everyone.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River.
Look who turns 50 this year, Wausau Harns Furniture. To celebrate, I've marked down select floor models 50%. Stop in soon for the best selection. Wausau Harns Furniture, 50 years in business. Half mile from Fleet Farm.
While families struggle to pay bills,
Harris and the Democrats are wasting our tax dollars on their extreme liberal agenda, giving government checks to illegal immigrants, funding a Madison clinic where minors get transgender therapy without parents' consent, pushing high schools to allow boys to compete in girls' sports. Senator Baldwin fights for this madness. Tammy Baldwin, radical, extreme, and wrong.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks a new door to unlimited possibilities. Possibilities to bring you closer to the people and the places you love. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience into a galaxy of adventures with the fastest and most reliable internet. Connect to unlimited possibilities when you switch to Spectrum Internet Premier for only $30 per month when bundled, and save with our 3-year price guarantee and no contracts. Call 1-844-653-6824. With the fastest, most reliable internet, you're always front row to the entertainment you love, no matter where you are. And with advanced Wi-Fi to keep you safe and secure online, you can focus on what matters the most. Spectrum Internet doesn't just power your home. It puts streaming, live TV, sports, and popular apps all at your fingertips. Get incredible savings when you switch to Spectrum Internet Premier for just $30 a month with a 3-year price guarantee. That's our promise to you. Call 1-844-653-6824.
They say post it or it didn't happen. But out here, in the places we were made for, you'll have to take our word for it. Find somewhere the internet's never been. With a family of Broncos designed to get you there.
Lease a new Ford Bronco Sport for $299 a month for 36 months, only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Look who turns 50 this year. Wausau Harns Furniture. To celebrate, I've marked down select floor models 50%. Stop in soon for the best selection. Wausau Harns Furniture. 50 years in business. Half mile from Fleet Farm.
Friday Night Blitz is brought to you by Merrill Steel, Rock Oil Refining, and Sweetwater Spirits and Resort. Your Blitz starts now.
Good evening and happy Friday night, and that means it's the Friday Night Blitz. My name is Drew Shelley, and we have a full night ahead of us on the gridiron. We're going to start in Antigo with our game of the week, and it's one of the longest and biggest rivalries in Wisconsin high school football. Rhinelander and Antigo square off in the annual Bell game. Sports Director Saul Meyer is in Antigo and has the recap of one of the best rivalries in Wisconsin high school football.
The bells are ringing. Rhinelander versus Antigo in the Bell game, the 103rd meeting between these two teams in the Northwoods' oldest rivalry. Antigo has won the previous 2 matchups, and we're looking to keep the Bell in Antigo for the 3rd straight year. The Hodags, however, are out for revenge. They want to bring the Bell back to Rhinelander and beat their rival on the road. In the first quarter, both teams airing it out early. Antigo uses the pass to set up a rushing touchdown. Rhinelander responds with a Truman Lamers dot to Cyrus Leisure to tie it up at 7. Next quarter was all offense. First, Colton Tomei finds Ethman Bookman on the TD pass to put the Red Robins up 7. Rhinelander responds with a Lamers busted play touchdown run at the goal line. And after a second Tomei to Bookman touchdown connection, Antigo led 21-14 at the half. In the second half, Tomei and the Red Robins could not be stopped. He busts out a monster run, tiptoeing the sidelines to set up his second rushing touchdown of the night, 4th overall, and Antigo is going to go on to win this thing 28-20.
It feels good. 4 touchdowns is a lot, but when you're doing it against Rhinelander, it feels a whole lot better. Because when my brother was a senior, they played here, and they lost in the double overtime field goal, and I told him I was never losing a Bell game for him.
Tomei looks like he found his new favorite target, Ethan Bookman, who hauled in both passing touchdowns that Tomei threw to help Antigo get the win.
You know, I'm pretty happy with that. I am extremely happy about that. 3-0 through our 3 years, and hey, it feels awesome.
The Bell stays in Antigo. The Red Robins take down Rhinelander to improve to 4-2 on the year after winning their 3rd straight Bell game. Reporting here in Antigo, I'm Saul Meyer, Newswatch 12.
Well, thank you, Saul, and the Bell game certainly lived up to the hype. We're going to stick with the Great Northern Conference. Mosinee was on their home field tonight as they welcomed in the Tomahawk Hatchets. Tomahawk was coming off of a last-second fake field goal win over Rhinelander last week, while Mosinee was looking to bounce back from their first GNC loss since 2020 when they fell to Wausau East last week. So would it be the Hatchets on the road, or would Mosinee get back on track on their home field? Let's start in the first quarter. And the Hatchets, they came out swinging out of the gate. Tegan Sarrazin going right up the middle. He is going to break a huge gain all the way into the Mosinee red zone. And they would capitalize on that. Braden Larson going to punch this one in from a couple yards out. And the Hatchets strike first. But back comes Mosinee. Junior quarterback Tree Stoffel had a big night. He's going to move a bit to his left and fire the deep pass to Jarek Seeger, who brings it in. That would be a gain of 58. Mosinee would go on to win this one 28-14. Let's go to Eagle River, where the Northland Pines faithful were jacked up for their homecoming game against Clintonville. Clintonville trying to convert a third down when the Eagles' defense descends on the Truckers quarterback. Clintonville would have to punt. That's when Pines would get it rolling. Quarterback Aiden Minks drops back, finds Jacob Beer for the big gain. The drive would stall, but that is when Pines would bring in the big leg of Cody Voida. He would make a 45-yard field goal with plenty of room to spare. Pines wouldn't take their foot off the gas, and they would go on to win this one 31-14. DC Everest taking on Eau Claire North. Quick out route here. Nevin Poppy right on it. He lays the big time hit, and he is fired up now on offense. Jake Stasiak going deep down the sideline. Xavier Edwards, go get it, young man. He comes down with the big gain for the Evergreens. That drive would be capped here on the screen pass. Stasiak to Blake Bankston, and the seniors just going to cruise into the end zone. DC Everest wins their 5th game in a row. They take down Eau Claire North 48-20. Let's take a look at some other scores around the area. Medford just unstoppable in the GNC. They win over Wausau East 44-6. Spash took on Wausau West on their home field and came away with a 37-16 win over the Warriors. Marshfield, the shutout. They beat Wisconsin Rapids 26-0. Auburndale hosted Pacelli. They were impressive, coming away with a 43-14 win over the Cardinals. So plenty of action and plenty of highlights on the field so far tonight, and there is more coming. We'll bring you highlights from the 8-man football games that took place around the area when we return on the Friday Night Blitz.
In a country where dreams are woven into the fabric of the nation, Rock Oil is driven by the spirit of the American dream. Environmentally, we take pride in our oil processing technology and related waste recycling. Fueled by passion, innovation, and patriotism, we're proud to be an American company.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Fentanyl is killing over 1,000 people a year in Wisconsin. New reporting shows that Eric Hubdy is doing business with a bank accused of links to the Mexican drug cartel. Banco Azteca loaded up $26 million in cash in fluid to Eric Hubdy's bank in California. Other U.S. banks have cut ties with this Mexican bank, but Eric Hubdy took their money. That's 26 million more reasons you can't trust Eric Hubdy.
Trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on 2024 Sierra 1500 Denali models. That's over $6,400 in average finance savings.
Visit your North Central Wisconsin GMC dealer.
In Oneida County, we believe in supporting our community members every step of the way.
Are you over age 60 and frustrated sorting through the benefits you're entitled to? We can help. Together, we are working to make Oneida County a more dementia-friendly community.
ADRC specialists can provide the elderly and anyone with a disability age 17 and a half information about in-home services, community options, and more.
Call or visit us at the Aging and Disability Resource Center.
Serving our community and our environment, Rock Oil Refining in Stratford specializes in turning used motor oil and antifreeze back into pure raw materials and custom finished products. Premium quality, affordable prices, environmentally responsible. Rock Oil Refining.
Huge live auction, Bessemer, Michigan, September 29th, 10:30 a.m. Tractor, machinery, sawmills, zero-turn mowers, sporting goods, tools, antiques, and more. Colonel Renee Brass and St. Louis Auctions. Friday Night Blitz on Newswatch 12. Your Blitz starts now.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Blitz. My name is Drew Shelley, and we have already seen plenty of exciting high school football action to get the night started. We moved from the 11-man to the 8-man, where it was a conference battle of rivals, both in their first year under a new head coach. Justin Zeus and his Three Lakes Blue Jays welcomed in Dan Moravec and the Leona Wabeno Rebels for what was bound to be a big-time showdown. Leona Wabeno came into the game with a 3-1 record, while the Blue Jays, after a win last week, came into this one 3-2 and unbeaten in conference play. So the Blue Jays hosting the Rebels up in Three Lakes. We start this one in the second quarter. Rebels rolling. Colton Albrecht going to drop back on 3rd and long. He's going deep to Boone Van Oyen, who's going to reel this one in. Big time catch and throw there. Touchdown Rebels. They're up 28-0. Three Lakes trying to get something going. Quarterback Easton Lurvey drops back, finds Charlie Liebscher. He's going to break a few tackles. Nice game there for the Blue Jays. But the Rebels defense would have an answer. He did it on offense, and now he does it on defense. Albrecht going to rush. He makes the tackle, and that's a quarterback playing defense. His sack stops that Blue Jays drive. Rebels win 36-6. Let's go over to Rib Lake High School, where the Redmen hosted the Prentice Buccaneers. We start in the first quarter. Prentice out to the early 8-0 lead, but the Redmen are going to storm back down the field. QB Talon Scheithauer going to take this one in himself. He finds the end zone to tie the game at 8. Second quarter, Buccaneers driving. Adam Rabb takes it out of shotgun, makes the read, and finds Logan Geiger for the Prentice touchdown. Nice ball there by the Buccaneer QB. Later in the second quarter, Logan Schmitzfranz, he takes it the distance for Rib Lake, and Rib Lake would go on to win this one 46-32. There was also plenty of other 8-man action tonight. White Lake Elko was on the road. They fell to Niagara 48-16. Thorpe hosted Gilman. Gilman showed why they are one of the teams to beat in 8-man. They won it 61-18. Almond Bancroft was on their home field against Wild Rose. AB was dominant. They come away with a 64-8 win. Well, that does it for another Friday Night Blitz, folks. Some big-time performances in our area. Anago holds on to the bell. Mosinee back on track. Spash and DC Everest both win, and they are on a collision course that could determine the Wisconsin Valley Conference in a couple weeks. That's all we have for this week's edition for the Friday Night Blitz. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Look at how soft your towels are, Grandma.
Soft water really helps with that, and the soap savings really adds up. Did you know that it's less expensive to heat soft water than it is hard water?
Wow, that's great savings and good for the environment. Having good water does make a big difference in our family.
Speaking of family, look who it is.
Any service tech servicing your water equipment, call us at Maher's today.
What? No peanut butter and jelly sandwich today?
Maher Water, 888-796-2437.
Celebrate the legendary Meatloaf and his hit songs, performed by the American Idol winner Caleb Johnson and the Neverland Express. Featuring alumni of Meatloaf's official band, Celebrating Meatloaf is a fiery tribute to the iconic rock star. Celebrating Meatloaf comes to the Grand Theater Wausau Friday, October 25th. Tickets at grandtheater.org.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado. Visit WisconsinChevyDealers.com.
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years. Highest gas prices ever. Skyrocketing interest rates. Unaffordable housing. Incomes down. Unemployment rising. And a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.